Hello, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact process that I use to take brands from startup to exit. How I've helped build and scale 8 and 9-figure businesses every single year. This is the exact process from step 1 in order that I teach in the Facebook Ads MBA program. In this video, I'm going to break down the 9-step process and all the extras that we feature in the program. For those who don't know me, I'm Charlie. Hi. Otherwise known as Facebook Disruptor, founder of Disruptor School. I've been helping brands and marketers scale and see success with Facebook ads for over 10 years now. I've helped drive over $1 billion in revenue for folks as small as mom and pop shops to brands as big as Pizza Hut and Nissan and Starbucks. And I really prioritize this being something simple that anybody can do.
It's by far the most simplest process. Like I'm literally teaching my 14 or he's almost 16 now, but I'm literally teaching my son this right now. And I was like, this really is that simple. Like it really is. I got a freaking 15-year-old kid, almost 16, sitting here making ads in just one session. It's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely attainable for everybody. But when you started talking about how you were looking at Facebook as a partner and not an enemy, which in my line of work, we've always looked at Facebook as an enemy, right? But the truth of the matter is, if you do look at them as a partner and you give them what they want and you play in their sandbox, they will give you better results.
So I'm going to show you the entire program. I'm going to bring you through the whole experience. And, you don't have to take my word for it. There have been hundreds of people that have gone through this program, this is hundreds and hundreds of people. By the way, nobody that's ever gone through the program has ever asked for their money back. So if you're interested, my calendar is down below. We can book a call to see if you're a good fit. Make sure you bring your credit card and have cash liquid because I don't like wasting my time. From the start, you have to have a business that can work. If what you have can't make money, then nothing I can do will help. And that's part of the qualifications. I don't work with folks who try to throw money at Facebook to fix their business. Those folks never win. What we do is focus on how Facebook works and how to make money. This isn't how to make the platform look good. Those coaches and agencies that only worry about vanity metrics are jokes, and we don't do that here. And, you don't have to take my word for it. Again, let's get into, what does Dylan say? Dylan, founder of heatmap.com, split testing. The guy buys and sells 8-figure businesses all the time. There's no one that knows the meta algorithm for ads better than Charlie after 10 years. But the special part is that he leverages business intel from advertising, not just sales. I've never met anyone who puts the two together to scale business like Charlie. Thanks, Dylan. And you don't have to just be in that space. We just saw that video. Here's results from Chase. I've been fairly quiet in this group, but just want to say that Charles knows his, right? I'm so glad to have joined this. I've been in the game for almost 17 years now, so I wasn't new. And in March, he took his client from a profit of $17K and guaranteed he would double his profits. And now he's done over 400% lift. And the coolest part is, he's worked 3 hours in total in the account since he's taken over. The business has generated $75,000 profit on $292,000 in sales. It truly is less stress. Thank you. You're welcome, Chase. And I love it. He didn't pay me to say this. No, I didn't, Chase. I just really appreciate it. But the fundamentals and the foundations that we teach in the Facebook Ads MBA program are really what it's all about. That's the core of the success here. Whether you're a business owner, a media buyer, or an agency owner, when you do this right and you have a good system to generate profit so that you can use that profit to scale your business, then you're going to be successful. These folks aren't working harder. They're just using the machine in the way it was designed to be used. We don't need to hack anymore. We don't work hours every day on ads anymore. It's about knowing how you make money. It's all about knowing how to make the machine do the work for you. And if you don't know this stuff and you're scrambling to chase fake results, you're going to struggle, right? And let's pop over to Alex over here, right? Like, just for him, He joined the MBA program, and a big win for him was recouping his investment by signing a client, but just pulling up the documentation and the systems and process we go over here. He got a 2x return within 5 weeks of joining the program, right? Like, that is incredible. And let's hop over to, where's Kelvin at? Where are you at, Kelvin? Here we go. And this is Kelvin Parker, who's another great success story from a couple years ago. The MBA program is a disciplined, methodical, scientific, and systematic, very well documented process that, followed correctly, achieves 2 major goals. 1, it brings stability to Facebook ad account, delivers results at an acceptable and predictable CPA. And 2, allows you to achieve your key business objectives at greater scale and or greater efficiency. Charley understands the Facebook machine intimately, thus giving him the power to train it. And that's precisely what you're going to be able to do. Once you stop fighting against the machine and start to feed it what it needs, it can deliver to you what you need. And what we're talking about here is the Facebook Ads MBA program. And this is, by the way, what it looks like when you get in. You click here to get started. There's some ebooks to get you going. There's an intro section with a whole bunch of goodies. There's the MBA bot, so you can have 24-hour access to support. We'll get into all this stuff later. Here's all the core curriculum that we're going to dive into each one of these sections here in this video. We also have our advanced curriculum that gets into the lead qualifier calculator, the PSM, profitable scaling margin, custom conversion event mastery. We have our weekly lecture series. We've got our Disruptor School Masterclasses, our library, our bonuses, more courses, all sorts of stuff. Like, it is way more than just a course. And after you join, if you get into the premium program, we're going to schedule a one-on-one call with me right away. We're going to hop on. I'm going to help you understand what it is that you need to do. We're going to see where you're at. I'm going to help you get started and give you the direction for you to see success as quick as possible. Like Alex, who got 2x's investment in like 5 weeks and has gone on to see dramatic success over the years. So with that all being said, let's get back to actually showing how all of this stuff works. All right, let's get back to the core curriculum here. So the first thing we're going to get into is the Scrum Doc. We want to understand, what are we seeing for our investment? Let's break down all of the money that we spend by business objective. Let's begin to understand what's bringing in more net new customers, what's bringing in higher LTV, what's improving CAC, what's improving blended CPA. And we're not necessarily just looking at attribution in the platform. And this is something you can't get just by looking at a dashboard. You have to break these things down like an investment banker, because ultimately you're not buying results with your Facebook ads. You are buying attention to amplify your business model. And when you begin to understand how your Facebook ads are amplifying the way that your business works, you can begin to lean into the business objectives that Facebook can deliver for you that ultimately amplify that with the greatest amount of consistency and profit. And once you begin to take a look at your business results and the way that you are investing in your business growth, like an investment banker, then things will fundamentally change for you. And it's about understanding all of these things that can really begin to make this world make sense so that you see more consistency and stability and your decision making is more and more profitable. Let's get to what Frederick had to say about this, right? So Frederick was saying, he understood Facebook ads on a deeper level than he ever expected to, right? It wasn't just what buttons to push, right? And he says, my knowledge is incredible. And the one-on-one sessions really helped him and his clients tremendously. Remember I said, we have the time to get on a call together, one-on-one. We can do that. And he's now able to operate with more confidence than ever and keep his clients in the loop with what's going on in their media buying ecosystem, right? It's not just, what does this attribution software say about my credit that this ad gets for a sale? You're no longer chasing those vanity metrics for unsustainable results in a way that ultimately does not produce more profit. We're building stability. And part of what we really get out of that also is understanding our optimization and our simplification of our ad account, right? That's what we really need to be getting to focus on. Once we know what we're getting for our dollars, once we know where our pennies are being spent, once we know what our ads are doing for our bottom line, we can begin to optimize our account to spend the vast majority of our money where we're getting the vast majority of the results that are net positive for the business. Oftentimes you'll see ad agencies just push a whole bunch of money into retargeting, right? Or they're going to be pushing into unsustainable tactics. And the most common things like that recently have been cost caps and Advantage Plus. And look, there's a place for that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do them. As a matter of fact, in the MBA program, we tell you how to actually use them and the way the engineering department designed those tools to be used, because I know, because I was there when they were building them and helped them figure out how to use these things. It's not my subjective view. It's an objective understanding, because I worked with Facebook to design them, and they've given me tens of millions of dollars of their own money to work with their teams to make these tools work properly. And what really matters here is the sustainability and the performance, so that we can scale with confidence and have results that we can rely on. And so when we begin to optimize our ad account by removing waste and removing those things that give us a great return on ad spend in the dashboard, but ultimately don't add any more money to the bank account, we're going to see better results. I can't tell you how many times people come into the program and they're in a huge rush to just do creative testing. They're like, why isn't creative the first thing you teach? And it's because creative testing is helpful. And we're going to get to that. That's the third module, right? But what really helps you improve your performance is spending your money where the money is best spent. So let's first eliminate all of our wasteful spend. Let's fill up all the holes in the bucket, right? Let's stop the ship from sinking. And then we can simplify our ad account to only focus on spending our money where we're getting the best results. You know, if you're making a nickel profit in one place and a quarter profit someplace else and $1 in the third spot, every time you make a nickel, it costs you 95 cents. So let's simplify around the things that are stable and projectable and sustainable, because also maybe that dollar only works for a week. Maybe it's the quarter that we need to be investing in all the time. The right answer is different for every business, but if you're not looking at your business in this way, by measuring the results through a Scrum doc and optimizing those things to be sustainable and then simplify around them, you're ultimately wasting a lot of time and money, and that's going to kill your bottom line, right? I think Akpan really got to this. Where are you at, Akpan? Let's see, where are you at? So much. Here we go. If you're not listening to CT the Disruptor, then you're probably wasting money on Facebook ads. No cap. Thank you, Akpan. It's not only about setting up for the best ads. It's about not wasting money so that you can ultimately spend your money where you're going to get the best results. That's really what this is all about. And I also want to show you that, like, this isn't just like somebody on camera talking for hours and hours on end in a way that is completely impossible to follow. This is a very well-organized system that you can navigate through really simply. So let's take a look at this optimization and simplification section. Yes, there is a video here, and it's 30 minutes long. And if you take a look at it, it's me walking through the documentation. I'm showing you the spreadsheets. I'm doing the work. I'm going from empty doc to completely filled out, and I'm explaining to you how the math works. You also get a copy of the documentation. There are handbooks. There are ebooks. There are case studies. This is the $100 million deep dive case study on structure for scale. Literally what the Facebook Disruptor Group says you should be doing to scale your business, and what the $100 million brands are doing that all of those gurus and experts and agencies on Facebook just don't really know, and what they're not going to tell you. So in this, we also have lecture series. There's multiple lectures for each one. And when you want to get to the next step, you can just type right here, click on that. It'll get you to the next space so you can go through this in order. And we also have a comment section on all of these. This one doesn't seem to have comments, but when we get through the creative testing and we get through everything else, you can see all of the questions that people have. So you get feedback, and there's this like really active engagement through everything. And that's what this is really all about. It's actionable data with feedback and understanding and support the entire way. Now, the next thing we're getting into is Golden Bear and creative testing. And this is testing for branded estimated action rate. How do we improve our relationship with Facebook? How do we become a better business partner? Remember, the average person swipes the height of the Eiffel Tower on a daily basis. And why that really matters is your ad is, objectively speaking, sort of a billboard in the sky blocking the beautiful sunset. Nobody's going onto Facebook to see your ads. What Facebook ultimately tries to do is understand whose ads are best for our users so that they can stay on the platform. Remember, Facebook's business model is keeping people on Facebook for as long as possible and getting them to want to come back. And I'm back. I had to go grab the baby. She needed my attention for a second. All right, sweetie. Let me put you down, okay? I'm going to keep telling these people about good stuff. Okay. Hi, sweetie. Okay. So ultimately, if your content presents itself as a liability to Facebook's business model of the retention of attention for profit, then why would they ever give you better treatment? The reason your CPMs are climbing and the results are less stable and your CPAs are getting out of control is because you're ultimately not showing your business partner respect. And with Golden Bear testing, we're going to be able to understand at very low budgets how all of your copy and your headlines and your creatives do at getting attention, how often they drive engagement, how well they create action, and how well you can align yourself to be a good business partner with Facebook. And that's really, really what this is all about. It's about making you the best business partner so that Facebook's machine works really, really hard at giving you the best quality audience for the lowest price in a way that is completely sustainable. And the people that fight this are the ones that are constantly talking about how Facebook just doesn't work anymore. And let's see what some other folks have to say. Where's Boonmi? Let's go over to you over here. So big shout out to Charley in the MBA program. The Golden Bear strategy and the PSM formula have revolutionized how I approach Facebook marketing. Wish I'd joined sooner to save money and time spent on less effective methods. Thank you, Boonmi. And I think Leslie's down here. Let's get to Leslie too. Let's throw her in here. You've helped me more than you realize, Charley. Not just with phenomenal ad management. It's all about the other stuff around it too. Marketing strategy, business management. The value has been insane. Thanks, Leslie. That's really what we're trying to do here, right? Is stack value. And I also want to mention here too, this program isn't for total beginners. You know, I have something coming down the line to address that too. But like, if you're not spending hundreds or thousands a day, you might not be in a place where this is the right thing for you. This is meant for folks who are ready to take the leap. And like I said before, if your business isn't effective, running Facebook ads isn't going to solve that problem. So let's get into more stuff here. Now, one of the messiest things that I see in companies is their documentation. And one of the core tenements of the Facebook Ads MBA program is nomenclature and documentation, not just in your ad account, but across everything. So I'm also giving you every piece of documentation that I use, not just tracking docs, not just process management docs, but also ways to make sure that you can eliminate dozens of hours of meetings and thousands of emails over companies over the year. Like, you can stop wasting time by making it easy for everybody to get the information that they need when they need it. How many times have you been in a meeting and somebody's response is like, let me get back to you on that? Now you just wasted everybody's time. If you have to email somebody because they're the only person that has access to that information, your success protocol is broken. And we are going to insert a system that allows every stakeholder in the business to be able to answer every one of their questions without having to bother anybody else. That is the goal. And in doing that in businesses over and over again, not only is everybody more well-informed, but also the folks that are just kind of scooting by and hiding inside of that corporate infrastructure, they're going to be exposed. This is a way of making sure that you only have the killers on your team, like savages only. People who are just skating by because they're part of the team, they're not going to be part of the team much longer, and you're not going to waste nearly as much time playing communication games and all sorts of stuff. And when you're running an agency, some of the clients that I've had at agencies, because I've built and trained agencies for years, when you can expose all this information in a easily accessible way to your clients, they don't hit you up on a Friday at 4:30 trying to get an answer for their boss so that you have to sit there and wait to go home. Like, you can just give them access. Like, your answer to their question is check the link. It's in the doc. And if it's not, I will get it for you and it will be in the doc forever moving forward. And you can expand and change these things. But if you have global documentation, your efficiency of time becomes exponentially more powerful. And that is incredibly, incredibly important when you're trying to scale a business and when you want to make more money, because it allows you to spend more of your time doing the things that actually matter, right? Speaking of a guy that's like incredibly good at business and has done phenomenal things, like this is what Dan Pantello, this is the guy, CEO, founder of Marpipe. Right? And you should definitely check out Marpipe. He says, is Charley controversial? Yes. Does he know what he's talking about? Absolutely. The best media buyers I know consult him. And he's true. He's not lying. I do get consultations from some of the best folks in the world running some of the biggest brands. I'm not going to name drop here because that doesn't really help anything. But businesses that are spending $10,000 a day, $100,000 a day, I've spent $1 million a day. Some of the biggest players in the world are in my DMs, and the MBA program is my way of teaching people how to think about things and to solve problems so that ultimately they can be in those types of positions. And we're going to get to this in a little bit, but it's not just a course, right? We already went through the comment section of the support, but there's so many other supplemental pieces of content to help make sure that success isn't an if, but a when, and that when is as short as possible, right? So let's get into some more stuff. Now, once we've finished our Golden Bear and we're doing our global documentation, we really need to get into creative testing next steps. And this is what a lot of people know as 322 ads and dynamic creative testing. It's one thing to know that exists. It's another thing to know how specifically to weaponize a 4PI analysis to know exactly what you should be testing so that you can get the best results in your business by not trying to just say, well, this ad worked, get me 20 more of it, which ultimately is the reason why all of your ads are constantly fatiguing, because the new one that does well comes at the expense of the old one. You're just trying to solve the same problem over and over and over again, even though you didn't need to. Instead, we can focus on what's your weakest link? Let's make that stronger. Let's improve the business instead of trying to abuse the A player. Let's just make a lot more A's. Let's surround our business with alphas instead of just disrespecting our strongest piece. And that's what this is really all about. And one of the things that I think really you will get from this is the confidence to know exactly what moves to make. And also the ability to make actionable decisions that move the business forward. Denise put this in a great way. She went from wanting to throw up every time she posted an ad, crossing her fingers, wishing it would work, and wasting money, to being confident and deliberate in her business decisions. Charley's program is not just another how to run Facebook ads program. It helped me get a clear understanding of how Facebook works and to use it to make thoughtful decisions that help her business succeed. That's not they taught me the best hack to 10x my business overnight and then completely disappeared when it all fell apart. It is intentionality, and it's adult thinking that separates the flash in the pan folks from the folks you don't even see or hear from anymore because they're just too busy enjoying life and being successful. These are the kinds of things that you deserve and what we talk about. And once you finish all of that, we really get into this next part, which is the testing roadmap. Now, the testing roadmap is essential because it's not just what are you creative testing. You should know what this creative test is and what the next creative test is going to be for the next month, 2 months, 3 months. But also, what about your CRO efforts? What about the apps that you're going to install on your webpage? How many times have you seen somebody put on an app in their Shopify to help with conversion rate, but it makes some pop-up come out over on a phone above the checkout button and conversion rate just tanks? And everybody's scrambling to the Facebook ad to fix it, but like it's the developer's fault. Like if you're not project managing this thing at a global level to understand what everybody's doing, then you're going to be caught off guard. And if you have so many efforts, it's really, really hard to see when things go well, when they go poorly. Why did that happen? And what really matters isn't everybody testing everything all the time. It's having a concerted plan for what tests are going to have the most significant change, which significant changes are most important, what is the timeline, the dependency, what are the deliverables, who's responsible, and ultimately, where do your tests become complementary instead of cannibalistic? For instance, if you're testing 17 new Facebook ads that all target different types of people, and you're doing a landing page test, well, if you're doing a landing page test and you didn't change your ads, well, you know exactly who's going to come into the store, and all you're going to try to do is convert them better. But if you're doing a giant creative test and doing a landing page test, you're trying to change the layout of the store and attract a million different types of customers who might never come back. The odds of any one of those tests being significant to your bottom line is basically zero. And what happens? Well, your conversion rate drops or goes up, and your ads fatigue, or they die, or they scale, or they fall off, and you have no idea why you're successful or why you're not successful. And that is so incredibly damaging to the overall consistency and momentum and growth plan and the ability to automate your scaling and understand cash flow and inventory management and human resources that is required for you to get from where you are now to where you deserve to be. This is what Daniel had to say about it. I've gone through 6 courses this year alone. An MBA program was 1,000 times more effective. It's by far one of the best business investments I've ever made. This program has really taught me how Facebook works, but also how to make adjustments and how to react properly whenever a Facebook change occurs. My only complaint is this course didn't come out 4 years ago when I started media buying. And to be fair, Daniel joined back in 2021, back when the price was $9,500. And it has changed, and then we'll talk about that more in a minute, but his success over the last few years has been incredible. I've gotten to, have relationships with these people now, and he's, gotten married, and it's just been wonderful to see all these people grow. So with that being said, let's get back to more of what we're talking about here. So the next thing that we really need to understand is our testing log. It's not just a matter of when is each test going live and who's responsible, what tests do we want to run and which ones are really interesting ideas, but we're going to put them on the back burner. There's a documentation process and a transparency and a system and ultimately an SOP to understanding every moving part in the business. And the purpose of the testing log is to make that visible so that the Facebook media buyer knows what the developer is doing and knows what the landing page designer is doing, and they know what the customer service team is doing, and they have an idea of what the inventory team is doing, so that everybody can work together as a well-oiled machine. Because ultimately, if you have a team, the number one job of everybody on that team is to make the team stronger. And if they don't have visibility, it's impossible for them to do that. And odds are their motivation is nothing to do with making everybody better. You will rarely ever see the Facebook media buyer looking at their job as like, how do I make the Google search team, the Amazon team, and the email team make way more money? They're saying, how do I make my ROAS better? And that's one of the reasons that you're stuck. Right? If your marketing department doesn't care about the customer service team, and if your inventory management has no visibility to the folks running all of your search campaigns, you're gonna be stuck in a really big way where nobody knows what anybody else is doing, so their motivations ultimately become very myopic. And if you're listening here, you're seeing that very little of this has to do with what we do inside of Facebook. Yes, your Facebook ads matter, and they're amplifying everything that's going on in the business. But if you cannot give visibility to everything in the business, then at best, you're trying your best to react to what's ever happening. And if you're only ever making decisions by reacting to information that you do not have control over, you're never going to be able to plan for and scale into and take advantage of the future. And that's a huge, huge liability to the success that you deserve. And that's really like a big piece of it. I think Jacob, where's Jacob at? He had a great thing to say about this. So Jacob jumped into the course after the YouTube vids really resonated with him. And coming from engineering to advertising, this was his first step and has been a game changer. Whether you're new or seasoned, these insights are valuable. No regrets, just results. What I love about Jacob, I remember him coming through and us having our time together, was that it wasn't just about here's the best ad. And to be fair, he had his system going that was working, and he came in a spot where this was his foray into no longer needing an agency, into no longer needing to pay people who objectively did not care about him, his business's bottom line, or the well-being of his family as anything to do with their day. Like, we can all admit that ad agency that you've hired does not care about you, right? They have put the success and failure of your dreams in the hands of somebody that has never run a business like yours, that also has no visibility into any of the impacts of what they're doing. And there's a reason why they come on a call and the very first thing they do is recite back numbers to you that you probably already knew in a way that lets them be seen as the people that get to take as much credit for that success as possible. But we have to admit, the ad agency isn't the reason the business works, right? Like my buddy Jason Panzer from Hexclad has built a 9-figure business, not because the agency behind it was incredible, but it's because he's a very smart businessman who came off of Wall Street and teamed up with Gordon Ramsay to sell cookware, right? If you look at my other buddy behind True Classic, he worked at Facebook for a long time. He knew his business stuff. He had a great in. He built a business model that scales, right? Like, these are the things that become really, really important, is understand how your work empowers those around you, and ultimately understand where your best job is often to lift those around you, right? Surround yourself with people who are better than you at everything that you're not the best at. And what the Facebook Ads MBA program really gets you to do is be able to see all of those things and make you the best at Facebook in a way that ultimately makes you invaluable to the rest of the team. And if you're running your own business, it means that you're never beholden to somebody else to be in control of one of the most important facets of your growth. And it also means that you can understand what's going on in your business to help you best leverage those ads. I think my buddy over at Jones Road Beauty put it really the best, and he said, a good business will scale an ad account, not the other way around. And that is absolutely true, absolutely fundamental, and something that folks who try to go from 200 a day to 1,000 a day don't get. But everybody going from 500 to 50,000 a day do. And that's incredibly, incredibly important. And speaking of all of that, like something else that's really important I want to get to here real quick is the ecosystem ROAS doc. And this is kind of like the Scrum doc, but for your entire business. And this helps you understand the impact of not only Facebook marketing, but also of your email and your search and everything else. And the folks that leverage that best see tremendous success. Let's get over to my buddy Miguel over here, right? So Miguel had a new store, new Pixel pre-orders on day 2. He started crushing. Now, this was back in April of 2021. He exited that business within a year and is now like traveling the globe, being a part of other big teams and being very successful. Like, he went from brand new store to exit in less than 18 months. Like, when I was talking about startup to exit, this is an example, one of many, that we can point to where that is happening over and over and over again. And this is the type of success that you deserve. We had another brand that came into the MBA program called Under Outfit, and a lot of you might know me from that business. And they came in doing $50,000 a month. They did $7 million last month. They went from $50K a month to $1 million a week in less than 18 months. They did more business in January of 2023 than they did in all of 2021. And at a better profit. And they're well on their way to being a 9-figure company. In a matter of years, like basically overnight, they went from startup, making like $1,000 a day, barely making a profit, to well over 100 million. Like, That's the kind of stuff that you deserve. And part of that comes from all of these things and also having a really good idea of your 90-day plan, your next steps, so you can project manage, right? And that's the last part of the program, is really understanding your project management and your process and knowing what is the most important thing and what isn't. And Tom really, I want to really highlight Tom because he's a great success story too. He said, first off, thank you, Charley. This program has given me so much confidence. Media buying and talking with clients, the amount of value and knowledge in the program is unreal. I'm honored and truly grateful to be a part of this and learn from everyone in the community. Like, remember, we have a huge community here. In the premium side of the program, we'll get to this in a little bit, there is a huge Facebook group with hundreds of people from around the world, and none of them have ever joined the program and asked for their money back. And even inside the program, if you just get the standard version, there's a comment section and a forum below every single lesson so that you can get support and see what other people say. And we have weekly calls so you can hear other people's questions. And like, it is so much more than some pre-recorded thing by somebody that doesn't really do the work, basically reciting bad information from years ago that somebody else who didn't understand the impact of the work wrote down in a script. Like, this is real world operators doing real things. And the success that they're able to achieve for themselves and help other people to get. He says, hands down, the best business investment I've ever made. Now, it's not just the MBA program. We're not just talking about measurement and then optimizing and simplifying, validating all of your elements, getting your documentation to be squared away, the DCTs to help you work through setting the system up. Because remember, those dynamic creatives don't fatigue. They get smarter over time. It's not just about understanding your testing roadmap and your log for everything that's going on, not just in Facebook, but across the entire business and your ecosystem. ROAS, to understand the investments you're making on every single platform and where it's incremental, where it isn't, what's bringing in new customers, what isn't, what's improving LTV, what's improving CAC, what's improving blended CPA. There's so much other stuff in the program, and I want to talk about that. So first off, like we said before, there's a 1-hour onboarding call if you get the premium version of the program. We also have the mastermind community. Again, hundreds of people around the world. I think at this point right now, it's like nearly 300 people that are in there, like actively right now. We also have live lectures with me basically every single week where I hop in and teach you the latest things that are going on and take all of your questions. Like, those calls end when every single person on that call gets every single question they have answered. They're recorded, and there's a huge archive of them as well that's searchable and with lessons built around them. And there's a whole bunch of other really great value that we're not even going to be able to get into today around all of that. And you're also going to get access to the Disruptor School Masterclasses, where I bring all the folks that I trust with my businesses, my Google people, my SEO people, the CRO people, the creative designers, right? The newsletter people, the email folks, all the folks that I give my hard-earned money to when I'm building and scaling 8- and 9-figure businesses. I'm having those operators come in and show you everything that you need so that you don't even need to hire them. You're getting access to all of these things, and we basically have a new class at least 2-3 times a month now. I think the last few classes we had were on TikTok, Google Shopping, and newsletters. Like, this is up-to-date stuff. Like, the TikTok Shops class was one of the most popular ones we had. And you get access not only to be a live participant, but to the entire archive, including all the documentation, the ebooks, the decks. Like, this is not just like, oh, I went to a conference and somebody on stage said some sort of thing that was sort of a sales pitch. No, this is like what happens if you actually got them in a room and they broke down how to make your business successful. And every one of them comes with a Q&A session, just like the weekly lectures. So like, if you have a question for any of these experts, you can have them on camera helping you through your problems. Now, I mentioned before that we have the premium version where we've added all of these bonuses. And yes, the price has gone up. I want to talk through a couple more of these supplemental pieces. We have access to the MBA bot, which I showed you early on inside the platform. We also have discounts and partnerships with all of those other people. We have the MBA weekly lecture series archive. All of those live lectures going back for years, you can access inside of an archive and see a lesson if it was from 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, whatever position you're in, whatever problem you're having. Like if it's Mother's Day or Black Friday or a New Year's sale, what do we do every single year? What were the impacts of all of those things? Because we're not just saying what we should be doing, but we're also, post-mortem, like ripping apart what were the results of everything. So like, wouldn't you like to know what all the people that are building 8- and 9-figure businesses, like Miguel who exited his business, what did he do in those times to be successful? Like, you can understand it, and you're going to see that it's basically kind of the same stuff every single year. We also have an ebook and standard operating procedure library. And those come not only as like PowerPoint presentations or like Google Docs, we also have how-to tutorial walkthrough videos for almost all of them. So it's not just like, well, here's a PowerPoint deck, I hope I figure it out. It's literally me sharing the screen and walking you through every single step of the way. We also have the predictable profit scaling blueprint, which is in itself an entire course that you can get into that is about how Facebook works, how to measure results, how to build a hero offer, how to work on your PSM, how to understand how to scale, how to set up your ad account for success, like literally like block by block, copy and paste what I'm doing and you can be successful. The 322 ad stuff, it comes with worksheets on PSM and 4PI and understanding your investment portfolio. It comes with tips on how to automate everything so you never have to touch budgets or do optimization around your ads ever again. Like you can fully automate like 99% of the work that gets done so you can spend your time doing what's actually important, like spending it with your family, working on your business model, or working on 5 other things that are also driving you money. Instead of spending hours every day opening up your Facebook ads manager, you can work hours every week, maybe. I mean, Chase was talking about how the fact he's basically worked 3 hours on that business and they've been building, 444% growth over the last, this is the kind of thing that you can get. We also have the How to Build a Winning Facebook Ad Account course, which is less actionable and far more theory. So you can understand the why behind everything. And really, the program is built so that not only do you get to watch me do, you also get all the documents that I'm using, but you also get to read textbooks if that's the way you learn. You get to ask questions if that's the way you learn. There are videos to watch and listen and learn. You can get into discussions, whether you read, whether you write, whether you do, whether you watch, whether you discuss, however you learn, there is an overwhelming amount of support for not only how to run your Facebook ad account, but to how to build a business so that you can ultimately take it to market and exit or just be CEO of a 9-figure company. Like you can do that, totally fine. And if you're running an ad agency like Jordan West, you could go through all of this stuff and your workload is going to get cut by a factor of 9 or 10 to 1. You're going to have the average person, instead of working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, they could be working a few hours a day and doing better work. And your clients aren't going to leave you because you're ultimately providing so much more value other than here's our ROAS. I know your business is going down and your cash flow is getting worse and worse. You're making less and less profit, but our ROAS is excellent. You're going to be able to understand the contribution of what it is that you're doing so that you can ultimately be the best business partner to your clients by being the best business partner to Facebook and understanding that ultimately our number one boss in the real world is the finance department. And how do we make the business stable and scalable so that the finance department is happy to see us every single week? Right? Let me get to Dante here real quick. And then I want to break down the rest of what we got here. Sorry, Dante. Where are you at, Dante? There's just so many things over around here. Where are you at, buddy? Where are you at? And there we go. Okay. So within 3 months of joining, he doubled his business with less work. You're going to learn real business principles. And you learn how to think like an 8-figure marketer. And that is what makes all the difference. I could not recommend it enough. Changed my business life and trajectory forever. Within 3 months, he doubled his business while doing less work. It's more success, less stress. I promise you, you are working harder than you should to be getting results that are not nearly as good as what you could have. So let me close this out with a bit of a comparison chart so you know exactly what you're going to be spending your hard-earned money on. We have the standard version of the program. Now, the standard comes with our core curriculum. We have our weekly lecture series archive. We have our masterclasses, unlimited access to the Disruptor School library of ebooks and SOPs. You get the predictable profit scaling blueprint. You get the how-to tutorial walkthrough videos and the how to build a winning Facebook ad account course. Now, if you get into the premium, which again has gone up since the 9.5, and the standard is less than that now, you get a 1-hour Facebook ads MBA onboarding call with me. You get access to the MBA program community mastermind group, and that's lifetime access. So that you can be a part of that 6 months from now, and 2-3 years from now. Any of the questions you have, you can get answers from everybody else who is not gatekeeping. It's not like some Slack group that you're in or some like private agency run thing where they're all just basically trading the same information they saw on YouTube and Twitter. No, everybody's using the same information. Everybody's using the same nomenclature and documentation and standard operating procedures. And these people are actually successful folks. They're not trying to sell you on anything. We don't let that stuff slide. And if you were to try to do that, you'd be booted. Like, that's the only reason anybody's ever been kicked out. One person tried to sell in that community and they were gone. Banned for life. No questions. Like, done. You also get live access to the weekly calls. So it's not just that you get access to the lecture series. You get to be a member of the lecture series in the audience in real time. You get live access to the Disruptive School Masterclasses. So it's not just you get the archive of them. You can be there in real time. You also get the MBA bot for 24/7 support. And that MBA bot is sort of like ChatGPT, but what I've done is synthesize over 10,000 hours and pages of lectures and textbooks and real-world experience and case studies so that you can go at any time to get answers to your questions. You don't need to wait for Thursday's call or wait for me to reply to a comment. You can get real-time support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you also get the discounts and partnerships with all of the companies that I use on all of my businesses. What is my MarTech stack? Getting that alone, the discounts you get with those partnerships will pay for the MBA program in 12 months anyway. So like, this is meant to be a so valuable you can't say no type offer. And that's really what this is about today. So again, that's really how we find success. If you're interested in this stuff, there's a link down below to have a conversation with me. Bring your credit card. Make sure you have money. I don't like my time being wasted. I'm sure you don't either. We can figure out if you want the standard or the premium. You can always upgrade from the standard to the premium, but you should probably just lean into the thing that's best for you as soon as possible. And I'll end with this. You're here now because you know that ad agency you hired doesn't care about you. And those hacks and tactics that you've seen on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and whatever just aren't working. You hired people that have let you down and made promises they didn't keep. And you want to be in control. You want to have the ability to be in control of your own destiny. You want more success and less stress. You know that if you get this right, it'll pay for itself in spades. And also, the price tag is a drop in the bucket of the volume of profit you can see in the first 2 months. And what I ultimately want you to have is the confidence to be successful and to know the decisions that you need to make for the best impact on the bottom line of your business. And this is the best single effort I have been able to put together to make that accessible for anyone. We had people from around the world, men and women in 6 continents, nobody from Antarctica yet. If you're ready to take control and ultimately see the success that you deserve, then this is right for you. Yeah. So if you don't want anybody wasting your time and you just want to get back to making money, let me know. And if you're not ready yet, that's fine. I'll be here. Don't know exactly what the prices will be in the future. They probably will go up. So get in now. And with that being said, I know you could be literally anywhere on the internet right now and you've chosen to be here and you made it to the end of this video. So clearly investing in yourself to see the success that you deserve is important. So I guess I'll be seeing you soon. All right. Bye.